Hi, this is Dan Labbe from cleveland.com, and these are 5 off-season priorities for John Dorsey as he heads into his second off-season as Browns general manager. First of all, let's talk contract extensions. Joe Schobert deserves one. The 2017 Pro Bowler had an even better year in 2018. He's the quarterback of the Browns defense, and the Browns need to reward him for that. He's got 1 year left on his deal. It's not very big. They need to give Joe Schobert an extension. And the same goes for Demarius Randall. When the Browns traded for Randall, it was hard to say what they were getting. They converted him to free safety, and then he took over and played very well. He did to the back end of the defense what Joe Schobert did to the front seven. He quarterbacked it. He changed the culture. You've got to give Demarius Randall an extension. As far as getting better, the Cleveland Browns have to address the future of left tackle, whether that's through free agency, the draft, whatever it is. They can bring back Greg Robinson, that's fine, but they've got to bring in some competition for Robinson. They've got to make sure that what they saw last year was not just a flash in the pan from the former number 2 overall pick. And then wide receiver, let's talk a little bit about that. The Browns have a nice little group of wide receivers with Antonio Callaway, Jarvis Landry, Rashard Higgins. Those are all good things, but the Browns need to keep adding to that group. Now, they could go get Tyrell Williams in free agency. They could draft someone. They could trade for someone. Hey, if Odell Beckham becomes available, why not at least make a call to the Giants to see what they might be able to give up to bring in Odell Beckham? And lastly, the Browns need to continue to beef up their pass rush. Myles Garrett had a breakout season, 13.5 sacks, almost set the team record. He can be better. But part of what will make him better is making the pass rushers around him better. So you've got Larry Ogunjobi if he can come back healthy. You added a guy like Chris Smith, who's a nice guy off the bench as a pass rusher. But they've got to add a real solution at the other end of that line, add a real solution next to Ogunjobi in the middle. Emmanuel Ogbah wasn't good enough this year. He can be better. If he improves, that helps. But they need to go into this season making Ogbah compete, make him earn that position, and bring in somebody that can help Myles Garrett and make that pass rush better.
Good job by Dan Labbe of cleveland.com. Do you agree with the 5 things for starters?
Because I have been mentioning left tackle too, and I know some people think that got solidified this year when Robinson moved in for Dennis Harrison, was it?
Right.
But, you know, so I like that idea. The only thing I would say about the rest of what he had to say is I think they still need another run defender, too, in there. Because they just got gashed against Baltimore. And I understand that Baltimore ran an unorthodox offense, but I just didn't think their run defense was very good this year, as good as it could have been.
I think the fact that it came right at the end of the year, the last game, is a lasting memory on the minds of John Dorsey.
And I don't know how you feel about this, Les. The one thing I wouldn't do is bring in Odell Beckham. I would not do it.
I wouldn't either.
It's going to be very expensive at a time when they can use their number 1 picks, right?
Right.
And they're going to have to give up a couple number 1s, I would think, to get him. And then you have the whole notion of bringing in a guy with that kind of personality when you've just told the world that you love what Baker Mayfield did in taking command of this team. And I wouldn't want a wide receiver who's going to butt heads or challenge Baker Mayfield as the leader of this team.
Right.
And I think Beckham might do that in a way that's divisive.
And the other thing, you look at it, we were talking about Julian Edelman of New England. Look at that receiving core. That's not very good.
No, I mean, listen, how many times would you get a talent like Josh Gordon, lose him, and still go on to win a Super Bowl,
Right.
you know? So they obviously thought they needed Gordon's talent at that position. They lost his talent at that position and still filled in with guys. I mean,
for people who still think that Gordon could help this Browns team, just look at the fact that you had Tom Brady, you had Bill Belichick, and you couldn't control whatever his demons are.
Yeah. I didn't have any problem with them giving him up when they did. And if he does find success elsewhere, good for him. It'll mean that he turned his career and his life around.